Hey guys, today I will show you how to sharpen your skills on 3x3 by showing you what algorithms to learn first and let you know what's worth improving. Firstly, if you want to get better at times, you may want to upgrade your cube. This one I got for €1. It actually was very good, but the stickers on this one started to get off very quickly. After about a week to 2 weeks, this cube will start to turn very slowly. So my recommendation is the Moyo Meilong magnetic version, or if you want to go a bit more expensive, the Gen XS or the Gen 11M Pro. This is about €55, but it used to cost a lot more, like 65. Now the price has gone a bit down because more videos have released. Now, for what algorithms you should learn first, if you are going for the CPOP method, you should learn first advanced F12. So let's do the cross real quick. The cross is now done, so you move on to F12. Most people will do the corner first and then the edge piece, but if you want to get actual better times, I don't recommend doing that. Instead, you look up for two pieces that belong in the same slot. This is the orange, green, and white slot, and this is the corner that goes into that, and this is the edge that goes in here. The most critical pairing methods is when you have the same color on a corner and edge. You want to pair them up by hiding this one, moving the edge in, and then restoring that corner, and then putting it in the slot that it belongs to. Another possible case is when you have something like this. This is the white, red, and green corner, and this is its edge piece, and it needs to go in here. So what you can do, you can move it over here, over the slot that it needs to be in, and then do this, click here, and this always works if the corner is above here and the edge piece is on the other side of whatever side you're solving on. This also works for the other side, but instead of doing it with the left hand, you do it with the right hand. So let's say you do all of those for the ones that you can do. You can have some cases that look like this. These ones go in here, but you cannot pair them up like that or like that. What you can do instead is you try to break these up, let's say like that, and then you can insert them with one of the ways that I told you earlier. Next up, if the corner is already inserted it, just make sure the edge is not in a bad spot like that, or else the corner will not be rotated in the correct way. So if the edge is, let's say here, you want to move it over here first, because if you rotate the corner up, you can see the white's over there, and then this can pair up very nicely in there. If you fail to do this, say you can do the wrong thing and you do this, then you can still save it by doing another pairing method. You can take the edge out if it's already in there, like this, and then insert it like that. Next, some algorithms that are worth learning for orientation of the last layer. I will put in the description in a massive Word document file. You can see all of them, including what the moves that you need to do. So let's say there will be, if you just start with all of them, you may want to look for squares, or most likely L's they are going to be, or lines. Right now it's a square, so you move it. If it's here, you can just move it on the top and the bottom right corner, and then do this algorithm. You have a cross now on the last layer. Now the edges around it are not right. Obviously, you don't need to fix that yet. What you do want to do is orient the corners. This right here, I like to call it the fish shape. There are a lot of these, and I recommend learning them all. So for this specific one, it's just this. But say you have this version where this corner is rotated outwards. We do this, then that. So these are just two examples, but there are a lot more of them. Next, permutation of the last layer. You have 21, I think, different cases, and if you actually want to be sub 20 average or something like that, then I recommend learning them all, especially the G perms, because they are the most common. So what size do I recommend you go on to learn algorithms? I recommend jperm.net. Of course, he has a lot of tutorials also on his channel. And what you want to do is go to algorithms, then CFOP, and then if you're learning first time all alone, recommend opening that in a new tab, and also full PLO. So here you have all of the algorithms of PLO. They're also organized in categories like diagonal corner swap, adjacent corner swap, and stuff like that. And here you can see what the case is, and then the algorithm. There are also other algorithms. Sometimes they are filled in, but sometimes you have to fill them in yourself. And for example, the G perms, they don't have errors because you need to recognize them by the patterns on the side. So let's say you have this one, you have headlights here, and the blocks over here. The block can be here, here, in the front, or in the back. There are 4 different algorithms for each. They are pretty similar, but they're very difficult. You can find each one here, or you can just go to Reddit, or look at the other that JPM has filled out for us. So for the case of this one, which has the headlights here and the block on the right and the front, it's GD, and it is this one. It's not. So when you are learning algorithms, I recommend you first look at the moves on the screen and then try to recognize them as patterns. For example, the J-perm is, you can see it as the letters right here. You can memorize this, or instead what you can do, and what I prefer, is to do this. Split the algorithm in different sort of payload, and do the first part of it, and then the second part, and then the third one. Sometimes it can go very smoothly, sometimes you need to think a lot more, but when you got that down, then it's pretty easy. Next up, we have advanced cross and advanced F2L. So let's come to the cube again, and I will show it to you. Alright, so ideally the cross can be done in 8 moves or less. Sometimes if you haven't inspected very well, it can take a lot more than that. So you first want to see where the cross pieces are. The red yellow one, the red white one is here, the green one is there and needs to go there. You can see there's a blue one there, and the orange one is also above its slot where it needs to be. So now to be very efficient with moves, use the D layer a lot. So let's say this blue one, instead of doing this and then doing the rest of once and then moving it from this layer, you can do D2 and avoid turning the back. Because if you don't do that and do this, you turn the back, and that is very slow and also not very move efficient. So if you just do D2, then it will be already in its slot. Then you can do for this one F2, then for R that, and for this one, if your hand is already right there like this, from the D you can do that, and then I'm rolling R2. So let's say you have a different case. Let's scramble again. Let's say you have two edges that are in the slot already, and you have one which is rotated the right way with two moves to be inserted and a rotated one. Do the easiest one first. I do most of the time. Or you can use the D layer instead of the U layer. So you can do D, F2, D, and then the orange one. But you can also not use the D layer and do the U, then insert the blue one, and then do the orange one. But I think that that's slower. So for our last case, let's say all of your cross pieces are in the middle layer together or on the top layer, and they are rotated in weird ways. Then you can try to do two at a time. For example, this blue and orange one, you're gonna do this, then D, and then with the orange one in, then move the orange one away and do that one. But not for the red. This one is the most difficult one, and you need to think fast if you're doing this on the fly. You move the D along with the U, then you put it in its wrong slot and then align the cross. Now this is what I found the easiest to do, but sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's not. It's luck if you get it right. Now to the advanced as well, you can try to pair up pieces. Let's say this one is right here, this corner piece, which actually belongs here. Some people take this out, then take this out, and then do that. But you can also do something called keyhole, where you put the corner in a wrong slot, or if it's already there, then you can move it on. And you take this out, then correct the cross, and then put it in. Sometimes it's faster. It really depends on the situation. And then also some more cases like this, you can have two pieces like that are not in their slot. They need to go in the back or diagonally, or it doesn't really matter a lot. But you should take them out and to split them apart. Move the corner, separate the corner piece from the edge piece, move it away, and then restore the cross. Then you could insert this, but you actually can't because you need to do a cube rotation and then insert it. But that's very slow. So I have this algorithm which works for both sides. You can just do this and then correct the middle layer. This is very fast, but it's very difficult. So I recommend it only in some cases. Usually when you need to book something in the back, do not do a cube rotation unless it's some special case that's shown off earlier, and then do this algorithm instead. So let's say you have two pieces in here. In the U layer, you can just or do the cube rotation and then do them the normal way, or you can do F moves and put them like this in. But let's say your corner is in a real bad spot in the back here and you're facing this, then it's actually worth doing the cube rotation and it's starting normally, and then doing the F12 piece. Now for practicing, you should practice about like whenever you can. I recommend. And doing solves and especially timing them, because timing yourself is actually very important if you want to get better. Let's say most people think practice is the difference from someone from 20 seconds to like 30, but I can guarantee you practice is the difference from 20 seconds to 40 seconds. It's a pretty huge difference, practicing and not practicing. You learn a lot of algorithms and you can learn pretty fast, but you never practice them and you make a lot of mistakes and you need to correct them. That takes extra moves and a lot of time. So you do worse solves even if you know all of these algorithms and you know how to turn fast. So you need to practice daily doing solves and especially timing them. I recommend some apps like Twisty Timer, or getting a physical timer where you put the cube down, put your hands here, you start the timer, then you release your hands, pick up the cube, solve it, and then stop the timer. This one is ideal for if you're doing any competitions or if you want to be more serious about cubing, like me. Next up, here are some finger tricks that are worth learning. In some specific cases, when you do move but your right hand is in a really weird spot, you can do or this, or sometimes do this, which is called reverse push. You push with your index finger like that, which sometimes could save you from, which can cost time sometimes, or from a very small time loss. But usually it's not worth doing the reverse push usually, because it takes a lot of force doing this move, and you move also the entirety of your hand forward or to the side. And sometimes it's actually worth doing this, especially in last turn. Let's say you finish the J perm and you still have a U move left, you can do or this, or say your hand is doing something else, you can do that instead. Now for the M moves, do not do this for M. Instead do middle finger or ring finger. I prefer the middle. You push on this piece to go up. In the beginning this takes a lot of practice and you need to get consistent on this one, because it's a very important finger trick. That is for M prime, which goes up for some reason. You do actually the same, but instead of putting your finger there and pushing like that, you put your finger on the back and then push like this, which is very much easier. Now for M2, I start with ring finger and then follow it up quickly by middle. So let's say the 8th perm is coming up and a lot of M2 moves on that specific algorithm, or like on any, also on the U perms. It's worth learning doing this and then by ring finger follow, or it can be also the other way around. You can, it's actually just personal preference. You can do this very quickly, or you can do this, but that's, you need to move your ring finger back here and that's very uncomfortable. I've seen some people do this, where you put your middle finger like that and you push all the way up, and to help out you do this like that. I almost did it. Do not do that, it's very inconsistent, and if you don't solve the cube and you are 2 moves off, then you will be disqualified. Then your solve will be disqualified, not you entirely, and the solve will not count then, even if it's a very good one. For E moves, you don't really use these except for blindfolded, which I cannot do. For E moves, I recommend doing this and this, or if you're left-handed, do this and this, and make sure you hold the U layer, otherwise it will turn simultaneously. For S moves, do not do this and then that. This is something that I learned the hard way. Alright. It's much more efficient to do this and then that, which is sort of the reverse push. But this is actually way faster than doing this because it requires a regrip. Or you can just do twice the index finger, either way. It really depends on the situation. For example, let's say you use this algorithm for the U-perm. You can do this and then ring finger and then rotate the middle. Or if you do it reverse, you do this and then thumb. So that was it for finger tricks. I hope you liked my video and I'll see you next time.